Yeah. Depends on who you ask.
I know.
Maybe not this week.
I really
Oh, you remember the right in front.
We say C for
Hey, look,
Or even 10 years.
you're not me.
Well, I didn't want to sit there either.
It is 6:30, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. Okay, 6:30. Thank you all for coming. If you would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So find yourself a seat and welcome everybody to the August 24th, 2026 Select Board meeting. We have a whole number of things on the agenda for this evening, but of course the main item that we're here for this evening is to fill out our select board again and appoint two new members. So that will be the bulk of the session this evening. Selectors, are there any changes or additions or anything or any changes to the agenda? Nothing?
I have a question. Usually we have any other business on there. Any reason we left that off?
I think it was mostly just because we had we're hoping to get home tonight. So I didn't put anything to that
I put a
effect.
bet on 17 hours for tonight.
Yeah, well. Anyway.
Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it.
So are there any comments from the select board or citizens on topics that are not on the agenda? Elisa?
So, Elisa Van Thomberg, Scipio. So, according to an article in the New York Times on Friday, the Postal Service just published regulations that would restrict mail voting in order to comply with President Trump's executive order. If the regulations are enacted, the Postal Service said that it would not deliver mail ballots in states that do not share voter data with the federal agency. This executive order was largely blocked by federal courts over the summer, and the Postal Service has stated that it would not take action to implement the rules specifically for the 2026 election unless the Supreme Court rules in the administration's favor. This order is currently under review and the court could rule anytime. What I would like to see, if there's a way for Weathersfield to create a bipartisan committee to problem solve ways we can get people their ballots. I was thinking that those willing to volunteer might go out in teams, like a Democrat and a Republican, per car, to hand deliver absentee ballots to all registered voters in town, along with instructions on how to return them if the Supreme Court upholds this executive order. We can all agree that it's important to vote, and this way registered voters would get ballots. I talked to someone who was not sure of the legality of citizens delivering ballots, and I talked with someone else who suggested that maybe those of us willing to do this task can be deputized as town employees for just this purpose. Whatever we do, I would like to see it put on the agenda soon so we can be proactive to ensure that all our citizens have an opportunity to vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will take that up with Floanne and with, I guess with VLCT is probably who has the
Secretary of State's office.
Secretary of State, that's right. Okay, so I will pursue that.
Thank you.
I have an answer.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
Anybody can get a ballot. They just have to-
Excuse me, could you head up to the podium so the people online can hear you, please?
No.
Come on, you can do this.
Anybody can get a ballot if they request it from the town, town clerk. Anybody. You can come in and vote, we can mail it to you.
Lisa, did you have, excuse me. Lisa, did you have your hand up?
I'm just standing up so I can raise my hand when it's my time, because you can't see me, so that's.
Okay, I thought I saw you.
Anyways, I don't have my hand up for this conversation.
All right, good. Any other comments from citizens? Dr. Murray?
Real short one. The Veterans Memorial Committee, we met last week, and we'll be submitting a memorandum to the select board for consideration for your next meeting. There's one recommendation that we'll be presenting you, which is for a potential request for purchase to consider. The reason that's important to go before the select board is because there are about $5,000 in the reserve fund, and we want to ask for consideration for a part of that for landscaping improvements and replanting of the memorial site, which has gotten pretty bad over the years.
And that improved, I understand, in the last week or so with the couple of barriers got knocked down?
Yeah, so there's that too. So we want to bring that forward to the select board. So I owe a memorandum to the select board for consideration for your next agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Lisa?
Just here to ask for the third time for the update on the police department relocating to Stetton Park Road. I thought, well, one meeting got canceled, but a couple meetings ago, I thought maybe it would be agenda item, but it's not, so I'll ask other comments from citizens for an update on that.
Yes, it's not on tonight's agenda just because it's so full. It is coming, I'm not sure the next meeting or the one after that. It's at this point, the site plan is going back to the DRB for approval. So just that's where things stand right now. And we'll give a more detailed report as soon as we have it.
So will a whole police update be coming to the
Yes.
resident taxpayers soon?
As far as I know, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? All right.
We have two people online.
Oh, sorry. Yes?
Username Maine.
Mary Beth?
Amy Beth, yep. Two questions. I would also like to ask for a police update, as it appears we have contracted with Reading based on an article in the paper. And it's unclear to me how many hours we have contracted for our own hours and use. I believe we were getting 100 from the sheriff's department, but it's unclear what we're actually contracted for. Now, obviously it's our own department, but what are the hours we're expecting?
Okay, that will, Greg, do you want to address that right now, or should we just make that part of the whole police?
I can address it now if you'd like.
Why don't you step up and we'll, because I know a lot of people are curious about that.
So as far as hours where there's actual road time in the town, it would be, basically we're 24/7 either on the road or being called out, with the exception of 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. one day and like 9 p.m. to midnight another day. Other than that, generally one of us is either on the road and or on call.
How does that work from a budget perspective when that's not something we've ever been budgeted for before?
It works with me working 60 plus hours a week.
And how much time is Reading, is the contract for Reading? Are we
13.
providing, at this point, already providing services?
Correct, that contract went into effect July 1st with the last town manager, and it's 13 hours a week.
Okay. Thank you. So we, part of what we'd like to do when we do a whole presentation about the status of the police department and the police building and so forth is also have the opportunity to introduce our new police department to the public, because I'm sure many of you, well, you've probably seen Chief Watrous, but I'm not sure that you know any of the other folks on our police department. So we want to just let you all know who's who, and we'll make that the focus of an evening coming up. So thanks. Anybody, anything else that needs to be brought up now? Oh, one more hand.
One more online, Becca White.
Okay, Ms. White?
Hi there. My name is Becca White. I'm one of your Windsor County State Senators. I serve from Hartford, so I'm calling in from my home, but I didn't know when the right time was to raise my hand, but Susan Wilder had noted there had been a discussion around motorcycle mufflers and the DMV miscellaneous bill and inspections, and I thought I would be present and make myself available for any of those questions because I serve as the vice chair of the Transportation Committee. I don't know if you can hear it, but the train is sounding behind me, apropos of the work that we do on transportation. So wanted to offer that if that's a question you had, or note when an appropriate time would be to come back to talk about it with you.
All right, well, thank you. I think tonight is probably, we have a pretty full agenda, so, but I think that would be very welcome if you'd like to, if we can get you to come back another evening.
Of course, yeah, happy to do that. Just shoot me an email and I'll make the time.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Anybody else online, patients? All right. So the next item is to review the minutes of past meetings. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of July 21st. So moved. And is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes, on line 51, there's no recorded vote for the motion. The motion was made by Ms. Bierce and seconded by myself. No recorded vote for that.
Okay.
And on line 82, the motion to appoint Susan Terrell and Josh Campo as the transition team leaders for the town of Weathersfield with modified job descriptions and responsibilities list. That quote, or the motion in there, is actually misquoted. The original motion stopped right there at the responsibilities list for the team transition leader. At that point, I had made the original motion going on the floor. I went back and looked at the video to confirm all of this. Ms. Bierce had came in and modified the motion to include having the select board serve as the interim town managers with Brandon Golnick and Town Marsh being on call. I would just like the motion to reflect that I did not make that portion of the motion, that there was an amendment. There was also no vote on the amendment. There was a whole kerfuffle that happened with that. I don't want to really rehash it all. It did get sorted out at the 7:23 meeting. However, the initial motion is recorded incorrectly.
Okay.
So should we table these so those corrections can be made, because it may require going back to the video to review the wording of those?
I have the video right here if we'd like to listen to it.
Do we have time to do that?
I'm fine with tabling it till the next meeting as well.
Can we do that?
It will directly tie into the 7:23 minutes, however, which is on line 53. I'm sorry, do we want to have a motion to go to the 7:23 first? Or should we table it?
I think we have to do them one at a time. So the 7:21 minutes, you want to table for correction?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table the 7:21 minutes for corrections on line 82 motion.
All right. Anyone second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And you said it was line, again, what line?
Line 82.
82. Great.
It starts off with the motion to appoint Susan Terrell.
Okay.
On which?
7:21 minutes.
Oh, I thought we moved to the next step.
I think the misunderstanding was just clarifying where we were on that.
I know.
That's okay.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of 7:23:26.
I'll make the motion.
Mm-hmm.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Oh, any discussion?
Line 53 references the previous motion of 721. When 721 minutes are corrected, I see no issue in approving the 723 with the correction of that motion in there. It's
Okay.
literally just a screenshot copied over to the other one. Should be a very easy fix on that.
Okay. So do you feel that needs to get tabled
I'd
till
like to
next
have
week?
those two done together. They're just tied together. It's probably going to be cleaner for us in the long run.
All right.
I make a motion to table the 723 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of 7:27:26.
I'll start it. So moved.
Sorry, I was
It's okay.
Sweep of the switch. Second.
Any discussion there?
On line 30, there was no noted time on when Miss O'Brien left the meeting. And we should probably have that noted in there.
It wasn't captured.
We started the meeting at 6:30 and the video goes in a certain amount of time. We could map it out. I'd be willing to do that for you. to help you
I
out.
can do it, I just wanted to let you know that it was not called out officially when she left.
Okay.
And it is difficult to tell from the video because I can't see her leaving.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a minor correction. If the rest of the board doesn't feel that it's necessary, I'm willing to leave that behind.
My feeling is it isn't necessary because it's in the sequence of events and the actual time that she left may not be important. It is noted that she wasn't included in any of the following votes.
I did note that, and that would satisfy me on there. I just wanted to make sure we were 100% on.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion, is there a second?
I've got one more
Oh, sorry,
on
we're in
there.
discussion, go.
This is
yes.
what happens when we have time between, and I get to look at the same packet of minutes over and over again. Line 119, this is Mr. Goodlatte shared that he deliberately sent out of the Planning Commission's hearings for the proposed plan, so not to participate in the Select Board hearings. I would like the rest of my comment added to that to avoid any potential conflicts of interest as the chair of the Planning Commission.
Great.
So that's all I had on that one.
Well-
I did have a couple other notes for minutes if we'd like to touch on them, very, very minor. Going through the records, I noticed that quite a few of the minutes on the website still say draft on them, and we should probably get that removed for the ones that have been approved. What I found, and this hopefully will help you patients, is 7/6, 7/22, 5/26, 5/16, 5/14, 5/11, 5/5, and 4/27, and then I stopped looking. It had been brought up to other recording secretaries in the past to have that corrected, so just to avoid any confusion online, especially with the website being switched around and all. And that concludes my broadcast day on the minutes.
So why don't we take up all three of those minutes and we'll just table them and do the whole thing at the next meeting?
I'll make a motion to table the 727 minutes.
Yep.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote is unanimous. All right, and now we get to the main event. As you know, because we've had two selectors resign from the board, we now need to restore our full complement of five board members. I will read the notice that we sent out on August 4th. In accordance with 24 VSA Section 961A, the Select Board of the Town of Weathersfield hereby gives notice of two vacancies created by resignations in the Office of Select Board effective August 4th, 2026. The Select Board, pursuant to 24 VSA Section 963, will consider appointments to fill these vacancies at its meeting on August 24th, 2026. The persons appointed will serve until a town election is had, and that, of course, is in March. Interested persons should send a letter or email to the Select Board by Thursday, August 20th, 2026, by 4:30 p.m. Citizens' right to petition for vote. Title 17 VSA Section 2643 and 24 VSA Section 963 grant citizens the right to petition for a vote to replace the Select Board's appointee at a special town meeting. If a special town meeting is called, the newly elected town officer will remain in office for the balance of the unexpired term. If a special town meeting is not called, the Select Board's appointee will remain in office until the next annual town meeting. To exercise this right, citizens must present a petition calling for an election for this office, signed by 5% of the legal voters of the town, and present that to the town clerk prior to the next annual town meeting. Person to contact. Additional information pertaining to this notice and its contents may be obtained by contacting Susanna Terrell, interim town manager, sorry, I'm garbling a lot, via email at weathersfield@weathersfield.org or by phone at the town hall during normal business hours. Letters of interest, yes, okay, so you have all that, the P.O. box, et cetera, et cetera. So, we received originally we had received 8 applications. One person this afternoon rescinded their application, so we have 7 applicants for 2 positions. What we're going to do is give each of the applicants 3 minutes to make their presentation and their pitch for why they should be on the Select Board. When each of the 7 applicants has had a time to speak, I'm going to open the floor for the community. You can have a minute to comment, but this is, I just want to be clear that this is not the same format as a town meeting where, you know, there's a lot of debate for each candidate. This is not an election. It is basically a Select Board process. And VLCT and the state statute does not require that we have open comments, but our own policy states that we do. So,
Mr. Chair, if I may,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. I thought this was going to be mirroring the process that went through when Mr. Tillman had resigned and that was appointed. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I don't want to see this turn into campaigns for people. I would like to see the applicants be the ones to present their case and leave it at that.
Right.
I don't believe we should have public comment on that. That's perfect for an election. And that's how it was done when Mr. Tillman had left, and I would be comfortable moving forward with it in that format.
I have no problem with that.
The Select Board policy does say the public has the right to
Shall have the right to. So that was why I introduced it.
Okay, again, I was under the impression we were going to be doing this the same way that we did when, well, I wasn't on board then, but when Mr. Tillman had resigned his position.
So
that's what I was prepared to go
off
into
the top
tonight.
of my head, I don't know when that policy change was enacted, whether that was before or after.
The only reason I'm bringing it up is because we all know during elections things can get very heated. And I just don't want to see anybody that put their name in have to deal with support or adversary against it because they're volunteering to step in to a very important role. And I don't want it to start off with any discouragement or negativity on it. And that's where I'm coming from.
You have no argument for me on that. So should we do a vote on that, or?
I don't think so. I think we'll just let the process play out and see what happens, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I have stated my case.
All right. So we're going to give each applicant, why don't we say 4 minutes? That'll give us about half an hour, and I'm going to call the applicants in alphabetical order, so there's no question about it. This is for the, as I'm sure you know by now, this is a job with a lot of responsibility. we are the governing body of the town, and it's our responsibility not only to deal with the issues that come up, but also to be fair and make sure that we have a sustainable delivery of public services, and that we address the public's needs that arise in the course of the year. It's, as you know, a bit of a balancing act oftentimes, and so I'm hugely grateful that so many of you stepped forward to take this on. We have some great qualified candidates, and who are more than willing, and it's going to be not an easy choice to come up with just two. So let's proceed from there. Basically, what we want to know is, what do you bring to the table? What is your, why do you think you're an excellent choice for candidate, and anything in particular about what your specific interest or concerns might be. All right? Any problems or any questions with any of that? All right. So our first candidate, if he's here, is Dick Clattenburg, and I don't see him. All right. Perhaps he didn't understand. Second candidate, Steve Dauphin.
Here we are. Please forgive me, my anxiety is through the roof right now. I'm standing here respectfully requesting consideration for one of the appointments to the Select Board. My family moved to Weathersfield over 40 years ago, and I've been here ever since. After graduating high school, I chose to rent in town. Later, I chose to purchase my home. I've never doubted those decisions and continue to be proud to call Weathersfield my home. As a property taxpayer for the last 28 years, I certainly have a vested interest in the future of the town. Much of my family does as well. 4 siblings, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, my nephew, all are property owners here in Weathersfield. Although I have not been deeply involved with town politics over the years, beyond attending occasional select board meetings, I began regularly attending the meetings in the past year, and the experience has been eye-opening. Seeing how decisions are made has shown me the process is not always neat and is not always cordial. It has shown me that most people generally want what is best for this community. They simply want their views heard and considered. Attending these meetings has given me what I believe is an understanding of many of the challenges the town faces. Though I fully acknowledge I do not know every issue yet, but that would quickly change if I was selected. I have worked as a manager for the same telecommunications company in Springfield, Vermont for nearly 33 years. While the work I've done is not the same as running a municipality, it has required me to work with a wide variety of people, projects, and constantly challenging situations. I believe that experience has given me practical decision-making and people skills that would serve me on the board. I am not an expert in tax law, land use, highway operations, or parliamentary procedures. What I can offer is straightforward common sense and a willingness to listen and a commitment to consider all sides of an issue. I am not approaching this with any agenda or predetermined judgments. I will admit that fiscal responsibility and public safety are typically my biggest concerns, and I believe those align with the priorities of the town. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to continuing to work with whoever's selected, whether that is me or not. And again, I just want to finish by saying I'm probably not the best, most qualified candidate, but I have a willingness to work with everybody in good faith. So again, thank you for your time, and I hope this all works out. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
And I stole the pen.
All right. So, next is David Fuller. Mr. Fuller, yes, you are here.
My name's Dave Fuller, and I'm a little strange up here to be asking to be considered to fill in. I moved to Weathersfield when I was 19 years old and started milking cows, and got involved in politics around 1996. My wife taught first grade here for 30-something years. So I started serving the school board, and for I think it was 4 or 5 years, I was a member of the WSSU. I chaired the school board for a year or two and know my way around Robert's rules. But then I moved to the town side of politics. I think in the year 2000, I was the chair, and it was one of those times that we had a sitting board member actually become a town manager, and that was Jeff Whittemore. At this particular moment in time in Weathersfield, I think we need to lower the temperature, and this gives a chance for a restart, I think. Don't know if I can provide that or not, because I can get hot. I think we all can. But the town has some serious things to think about in the timeline going forward with reappraisal and now selecting another town manager. I think we can do a better job of communicating with the public. I appreciate I did, when I received my tax bill, I was a little shocked. Many people have asked me about that, their own tax bills. And I don't think the town was prepared to understand the implications of the changes in current use and the H122 lowering of the threshold of income, which helped on taxes. So when you got your total bill, it was a little bit in conflict with what was given at our town meeting. I don't know if we can fix that or not, but it's real. When our tax bills went out on this quarter, I was sitting on a tractor and I asked my wife if we'd gotten our bills. She said yes. I said, do me a favor, I made a mistake, do me a favor and total them up. There's a lot of pressure on a farm to pay $33,094 a quarter. I got off my tractor, I came here and I took out papers to run for the 3-year seat because I want to be part of the fix rather than part of complaining. Thank you for your consideration, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, our next person is Tom Leach.
Should we announce who withdrew so people know?
Virginia Goddard was to have been our next applicant, and she withdrew her application this afternoon, just so you know.
Sorry to interrupt your time, sir.
I don't know. Thank you, Tom Leach. Been here before a few times. Dave brings up some excellent points that I think we're at a really great opportunity here, even though some may be acting like the sky is falling, but I see this as an opportunity to hit the restart button. I feel if I was to get on the board, I can help with that. Also, whether you guys like it or not up there, you guys have a PR problem, and we need to fix that. There seems to be a little adversarial feeling in the town, I think, between our town managers, our board, and the people below. And I think voting down 2 budgets in a row kind of went along with that, and that was the people trying to tell you that. And then we hear about, and when that was done, I don't know, as far as the $22,000 approval for a national search for someone that we really should be picking up in our own backyard, right after 2 budgets get voted down, boom, boom, it hurt. It hurt. I really felt like no one's listening. You know, I mean, I don't see a clearer message than 2 consecutive. I don't think it's been done in town. I could be wrong, but, so, we need to look up. Brighter skies are ahead. The sky is not falling. This is a great opportunity to reset the clock on a lot of different issues, whether it be salaries, other expenses, and so on. Communication, Dave's dead on with that. It's a big issue. I'm just finding out now that we're covering Reading since July 1st for police services. Wow, what a great thing that would have been to have a table at the, I forget the name of the event on Saturday 2 weeks ago.
The Rec Fest?
At the Rec Fest. Would have been great to talk about that there. Have the chief, the chief was there. He's very involved with the community, and we're grateful for that. But that would have been a great way to really introduce the department to the town at that time as well. I have sat on the board before, 2018 specifically. I served with a bunch of great people, John Harrison sitting here, Amy Beth Main, Kelly Murphy, Dan Boyer, Peter Cole, and we got a lot of work done. We didn't always agree with each other, and I think that's important that tonight, whoever you select, I hope it's someone that you've disagreed with maybe on some topics, and we need to make it where we can hear and have that conversation with people that maybe aren't the same line as we are, because we really don't want to surround ourselves with people that are pretty much our mold of what we see and feel and want to do. So hopefully someone will be a little bit of an outlier that comes in and can help give a separate viewpoint of a few things to come up. And I think that would help with the communications aspect of it, to have different people with different ideas coming forward. I see myself as a problem solver. I've owned 2 businesses. I also have worked in the nonprofit sector for quite a while. I've done that up here since I've come up here 13 years ago. I've worked at Dartmouth Health and until this past May. And I know how to keep a budget. I know how to, things cost money, without a doubt. And you always hear things are going up. But there's always a different way of working around different problems. You can't just hit the first thing that comes up as the answer. Sometimes it's whack-a-mole, and you got to go to the next project and so on. So hopefully I'm considered, and I feel like, no problem, and I feel like to be a good voice in that situation, because I know you're under a lot of stress. It's not an easy job. It's a thankless job. But hopefully there'll be strength in numbers once you guys get up to a good solid 5 people. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
The next applicant is August Marty.
Thank you, Chair. I'm happy that so many good neighbors and residents are applying to support you. So that just makes me feel good, first off. I recognize the select board is navigating a challenging period, and I believe the priority now is really supporting the board and keeping the town's business moving forward effectively, especially because we have another budget cycle right upon us. If the board feels my experience would be helpful, I'd be delighted to serve the remainder of one of the vacant terms. Having previously served on the select board and led various committees that you've appointed me to, I believe I could contribute from the outset. I've attended meetings fairly regularly for the last few years. If appointed, I would ask that I would step down from the budget committee so that you could appoint a new member and they could select a new chair for the budget committee, so I didn't have a conflict there. And I would want to focus my time and attention on the select board business. Currently, I serve the U.S. Department of Agriculture in the Farm Service Agency State Committee. I'm one of 5 Vermonters serving in the state committee where we support farmers and farm programs in the state. I'm also a retired U.S. Army colonel. I'm from Vermont. I grew up just south of here in Windham County, went to Norwich, and after 33 years in the military, I returned home to Vermont to farm. We own a farm here in Weathersfield. We raise beef and chickens. My professional background, my last assignment was in Arlington, Virginia. I was the Chief of Staff of the National Guard Bureau Joint Staff, and I also had served in the Armed Forces as an Inspector General, Human Resource Manager. I was the Kabul Base Cluster IG in Afghanistan, and I was the HR Director in the Green Zone in Iraq. And I was a Senior Policy Officer, so I spent a lot of time reading policy. One thing that's been educational for me is I'm fairly proficient in Robert's Rules as a parliamentarian, but I've recognized the importance of Vermont statute and there's a lot to learn. And so I think that, we collectively as a community, there's so many new laws that impact us, and so much of what we do is affected by statute. That's something I want to spend more time learning. Academically, I was a professor in the Army as well. I taught military science. I have a doctorate. I have an educational specialist degree, a master's of strategy from War College, U.S. Army War College, and an MBA from Franklin Pierce. I also have certificates in human resource management, fiscal law, and I would be grateful to put that work to use for the board and for the town. However, I just think you need to select the people that are the best fit. I think Dave Fuller, I have to just tell you, we're not supposed to be promoting other folks, but I'm just very glad that he applied. My sincere hope is that you appoint the individuals you believe are best suited to help the board, whether that includes me or not. You'll have my support no matter what, and all of the other fine applicants will have my support. I think what matters most right now is, like others have said, the temperature needs to slow down, and we just need to work together to get us through this budget cycle and to March. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Next, Lawrence Turner. Are you here? Oh dear. Did word not get out that? It did. Okay. Well, I'm sorry he's not here. Zach van Valkenburg.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to engage. Usually I don't dress like this. I dress in much more normal clothes, but I just came from work, so you'll have to excuse the tie. While I'm new to governance, I'm not new to the public service and the public sector. Since the age of 14, I've served in many different public-facing sectors. I'm an Eagle Scout, EMT, fireman, and currently a state trooper with the Vermont State Police, and then I also served a bit of time in the Army as a combat medic. And that's kind of my professional background. More personally, I have a family here in Weathersfield. We have one child in the school and two more who will hopefully, if time can slow down, they'll also join the school. So my vested personal interest is a long-term success for the town, and it's not so much short-term fixes, although short-term fixes in the need to fill the board seats are important. Long-term stability is what I think is going to set Weathersfield apart from other towns that are around us. And so my professional background and my personal background kind of face, or rather I should say, kind of guide what I do. Honor, integrity, and courage. And I think through those three things, we can help fill some of the gaps and help bring down the temperature, so to speak, as to what's been going on here. But my intent is straightforward. This board should be operating at the highest level possible, and that the decisions are based solely on what is best for Weathersfield. That's not what's in it for me. Even though there could be opportunities, it should be what's best for all of us, and not one singular person or party or group of people. And these decisions are really important to be made, not on personalities and not on politics, but grounded in logic and reason and sound judgment, and in certain situations backed by data. We have the numbers for a lot of these things, and we have the statutes, and the research should be done. It's at our fingertips these days, and so the decisions made should be backed by those things and not. And I aim to help elevate this board's professionalism to a standard that sets it apart. We expect our town employees to act professionally, uphold high standards, wear uniforms, follow codes of conduct, and I think the board also needs to adopt and start to do some of those things, because personally I feel some of those things have fallen short recently. we expect the town employees to operate a certain way. We should be, the board should be exceeding those expectations and setting the highest level. And I think a lot of that starts, and this was touched on, with transparency and communication. One of the things I had an issue with and a driving factor for me was the recent complaints against the select board. That process took far too long, and I wholly disagree that there were complaints made against the select board. The select board then investigated itself and found that the best thing to do was a adoption of a resolution of a paragraph out front. I think that issue needs to be revisited, and I think there needs to be a lot more communication and a lot more transparency about what happened. I'm not saying there's done anything wrong, but I know a lot of people that I've talked to also feel the same way, that it just doesn't look right. And it doesn't feel right when you think about it in the actual of what happened. I have submitted my, I shouldn't say I've submitted, I've taken out my papers to run for one of the seats that was upcoming anyway. And so I think that this is a great opportunity to get some insight before that happens. Because I think leadership is earned long before a title is assigned. I think that's important. And I think that one of the current decisions that truly impact, these two seats are important, but choosing the next town manager is probably arguably the most important decision coming up. And I think that will help shape things going forward for the town. And I don't think we should just settle for any town manager, and I don't think we should just settle for anyone who applies. If the perfect fit doesn't come in the first round, well, we open it back up for a second round until we find the right person. Because I don't think we shouldn't have a town manager, there should be a town leader. That person needs to run this town with guidance from the select board, but we can't just have anybody who does it. And I think that this board has the ability to find that person and choose that person, but that's really what's is important to me. And I'll just end by saying that something hasn't been working, so when something doesn't work, we need to change it. The famous quote is, "Nothing changes when nothing changes," and I think that there needs to be some change. And I thank you for allowing me to come up here and talk and present myself. And whoever is selected, I look forward to working with them and encouraging them and continuing this process. Thank you.
Thank you. So the format now, thank you all for coming in and speaking, addressing us. What we're going to do is go into, the three of us go into executive session. As you probably know, because 3 is the working quorum for a board of 5, whatever decisions we make have to be unanimous. And we will come back. I hope you stick around and wait to hear who gets to sit in the empty seats tonight. So, and then we will, once we've done that, of those people, the 2 selections will, or 2 appointees will be sworn in. The town clerk is here to swear in. And then we will have a reorganizational meeting where the newly reconstituted board will select who they want for chair and vice chair and secretary and so forth. So we'll be back to do all that. All right, so if you'll excuse us for hopefully not too terribly long, we'll see you in a few. Oh, 1 minute, sorry. Hold on, one time. One voice at a time.
Did you still want me to join?
Is there any, how did the 2 know about that?
Oh, sorry, wait a minute, we forgot an important step. I make a motion to enter executive session pursuant to 1 VSA section 313A3, thank you, patience. Hold on, I will read it, because 313A3 probably doesn't mean anything to anybody. The appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employment or employee, provided that the public body shall make a final decision to hire or appoint a public officer or employee in an open meeting and shall explain the reasons for its final decision during the open meeting.
Second?
Oh, yeah, second. I'm used to there being 5.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous, and we'll see you in a few.
Was that yes, right?
Yeah. Ed, how do you feel about it?
Is it necessary?
Was it done during the Tillman?
I thought Brandon joined during the Tillman, and I feel that based on the fact that I have to work very closely with these individuals, I'd like to understand the rationale for sticking them.
I personally have no problem. No objection.
I don't either, it's fine.
Come ahead.
Could you show that, please?
Hot? Yeah, imagine that, it's warm in here.
Don't have too rowdy a party, please.
Yeah.
tea and cookies upstairs.
The reality is there's air conditioning up there.
It was not easy.
For an hour and 45 minutes up there, basking in the air conditioning.
You know what, Kelly? Motion to come out of executive session?
No, she just declares it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I declare us out of executive session, and as you know, no action was taken, a lot of discussion, but deliberation, but no action. So, I will entertain a motion to appoint two candidates for the terms that run through March of 2027. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Zach Van Valkenburg and David Fuller to fill the two vacant seats on the select board. Terms to expire March town meeting 2027.
Second. All in favor?
Could I have
Oh, sorry.
Could I have discussion, please?
I don't, no?
Sure. It's a technical question.
Okay.
Each term is different. One is a 3-year seat, one is a 2-year seat.
They're both up in
Oh,
there.
no, I know that. I do know that. But I think Floanne, I don't know if you can chime in on this. It's not the same seat. One's a 2-year seat, one's a 3-year seat. Well, I know they both expire on the 2027.
Yeah. Mike's retired, is
Mike's retired.
No, I understand that fully. But in the past, we've specified exactly what the term was to fill the unexpired seat of that particular term.
You're not filling the unexpired seat, you're only serving until March 2025. Because both of them, there are no unexpired. They both end up 2027, sorry. They're both up in 2027. So
I'll make a motion to amend my motion to Zachary Van Valkenburg for the 2-year seat and David Fuller to the 3-year seat. To expire March town meeting 2027. Thank you, Kelly.
Sorry.
We would need a second to approve the amendment to the original motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Is there any further discussion from the board
This is of the amendment.
of the
motion.
amendment? Okay, then, all in favor?
Aye.
No.
Okay, sorry, needs to be unanimous.
Could I ask the town clerk a question?
Yes.
Is it
please.
legally required for us to assign each of these candidates to a specific seat on the board? It is required so that one candidate has to fill Mike Todd's seat and one candidate has to fill Kelly's. It's required to do that.
Well, why wouldn't it?
Because both seats expire on the same date. If they didn't,
There's one term and there's another term. So you have two different
but they're
terms.
only serving until March of 2027. So why is that relevant?
Just telling you, I think it would be. It would be the same if you came off the board, then they have to go until whatever your term is on. It has to be named. When you look on the ballot, it will tell you on the ballot, if they're only taking a 3-year term, but under the 2-year term, it will say right on the ballot, do we fill?
Till the next town meeting, till the next election.
Yes, but it will give the years.
I'm sorry?
It will give the year. The year.
But the statute does not specify that. It says to serve until the next election.
Right.
That's what the state statute says.
Well,
Do they serve until the next election, and then we got a legal opinion? Is that until the November election, or is that until the town meeting election? And because this is a local position, it goes to the town meeting and not the next general election.
Unless, of course, the people decide that they want to call for a special town meeting.
Right.
Or a special election.
I'm just saying that's the way I've always done my ballots, and I've never had any.
But this isn't on a ballot. This isn't going on a ballot.
But it's still appointing somebody to that position.
Right. All right, if it's going to move this down the field, then I'll change my vote to agree with the amendment, if that's possible.
I will vote aye. So The vote is unanimous.
The amendment is passed.
The amendment is passed.
So to restate the motion is to employ Zach Van Valkenburg to the 2-year term and David Fuller to the 3-year term to fill the 2 vacant seats on the Select Board, terms to expire March Town Meeting 2027.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. I want you to know this was a very difficult choice.
Extremely difficult.
You all come in with all kinds of qualifications and experience and, you know,
Qualities.
it was a very difficult choice, and we're very grateful that you all put your names in. It's, and we hope you will continue to stay involved in town government, whether or not you're serving on the select board for the next 6 months. Then our next order of business is the swearing in. And Luann, would you do us the honors?
These are all the legal documents that you're going to have to sign. So you vote, raise your right hand. You're going to say your name
I, Zachary, should shoot something.
No, just.
I, Zachary Van Valkenburg, solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of select person, to the best of my judgment and abilities, according to law, so help me God.
I just did the full in, I need bigger print. I, David Fuller, solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of select person to the best of my judgment and ability, according to law, so help me God. Second one.
So these you have to sign also, just so you make sure you see them. Whenever you know it.
You want us to sign?
Did you receive it?
Okay.
You can get your my copy of that.
Can you come in the office?
Yes.
You want that? What month?
He's having.
Yes. Well, that could be updated. I don't know when that date is. Oh, long time. Okay, so that's, yeah, got it.
Okay, guys.
And we.
If you guys would like to join us at the board, welcome to Thunderdome.
What do you want, man?
Take a seat.
I next fan, yes.
That's a particularly hot seat sometimes. So the next order of business is the reorganization. It's not legally, which is to say the election of officers. It's not legally required, but it is best practices that we extend the opportunity to shuffle the membership. So I will entertain nominations, I guess, for,
I believe you have to turn the meeting over.
I'm sorry?
I believe you have to turn the meeting over.
I'm sorry, I
You
can't
have to
hear
turn the
you.
meeting over to me after.
Oh, that's right, of course, yes, for this,
That was the
yes.
recommendation we were
And I have a note right here that says to do that. Sorry.
That's okay.
So, being that the reorganization was duly won and there is a vacancy for chairperson, are there any nominations for chairperson?
I nominate Rika Henderson.
I nominate David Fuller.
So a nomination for Rita Anderson, and a nomination for David Feller. Are there any other nominations? If there are no objections, I will close nominations for chairperson. We will vote in the order in which they were received. All those in favor of Rita, signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, signify by saying nay.
Nay.
I believe that's a majority there. We don't have to vote on the next one, and does that sound correct?
I guess, yeah, it has, yeah, it's the quorum.
You have a meeting.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Rita.
I appreciate it, thank you very much, I appreciate the confidence. Then I will entertain nominations for the vice chair.
I'll nominate David Fuller for vice chair.
Any other nominations? All right, all in favor of Dave Fuller as vice chair?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we've got 3, that's Dave Fuller, I believe you are now the vice chair. And secretary or board clerk, I entertain nominations for the board clerk.
I nominate DeForest Pierce.
Are there any other nominations? All in favor of DeForest as board clerk? Aye.
Aye.
I believe that's the majority of the quorum of the board. I guess officially, are there any nays? Are there any abstentions? All right, DeForest, you are on the board clerk. Thank you. So the next order of business is to accept Joseph Bublat's DRB, Development Review Board resignation from that committee.
I'll be recusing myself from this.
Yes, of course. Did we get any official letter or anything from you?
I did. It's in
You
the
did.
packet.
Oh, it's in the packet, of course.
I don't got time. This board has dominated my life.
So, all in favor of accepting Mr. Bubak's resignation?
Aye. With regret.
Do you need a motion?
Oh, I guess we do need a motion.
I make a motion to accept with regret Mr. Bublat's resignation from the DRB.
All in favor?
You need a second.
Oh,
Second.
a second, sorry, I'm jumping, I'm so conscious of the time. Okay, so we have now, can we vote? A vote, please. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And any abstentions? Except the next item 12, accept Joe Bublat's resignation from the Planning Commission.
Move to accept with regret.
I will recuse myself again from this.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The resignation is accepted. Next item is the town manager search update, and that was originally, we hoped to do that on Thursday, and we just found out that Joe who would of course want to be part of that that evening, is unable to be there that evening. So if you will forgive us, I will talk tomorrow with, let's see what everybody's schedule will allow that we find. I really, we're in a bit of a time crunch. We really don't want to push this off. We want to start getting things rolling ASAP. But I personally am willing to, talk with all of you and find out that we find a date and a time that works for everyone, so that nobody has to skip out on this process. So I would move personally to, tabling this, or how, anybody know?
That wasn't an action item.
It was just an informational thing, so it doesn't need a vote.
Rita, I got a
Yes.
question.
Yes, sir.
So, since there are 2 new members here, and we have absolutely no idea of the company's name or the status of the search or anything to do with the search. I think it's really important that the town office send us two new members a copy of that.
Absolutely.
So I don't need a phone call, I don't need anything, I like to see paper about what the agreement was that was made and the timetable and what they're doing or not doing.
Okay.
If I could offer some update to that.
Yep.
So I was gonna ask, is there like a highlight? Can you give a
So,
highlight?
I mean, we can give you the agreement date, exactly, absolutely. There isn't much of a timeline at this point because of the resignations on the board. Things have kind of been put on pause. We do need to get academic partners in to a board meeting to make some high-level decisions. The only thing that has really been done is a couple of small ads for the job that will be posted soon on their website and some other websites. And there is a survey that is available to employees, board members, town folks, both online and here tonight.
Which is a needs assessment that basically is saying, what do you as a town employee, as a person who lives here in town, as a board member, what are your priorities and what do you feel is important? So I would very much urge all of you to please, please, please fill that out. The more information we have to go with, the better.
But then we need to set a couple of meeting option dates and see if they're available if Thursday does not work.
I missed the beginning of your
If Thursday doesn't work, we need to set a couple of meeting dates to see if they're available so that we can start making some of these decisions for the hiring process.
Okay.
I can make any day next week work, Monday through Friday.
Next week, Jason. We have a BCA meeting Wednesday night, but other than that, I'm free any night next week.
Next Thursday? Well, sooner rather than later, 31st, Monday?
Monday?
I think a Monday would be good. That way people are already used to coming to select board meetings on Monday. It wouldn't be too much to adjust off. But, you know, the riveting planning commission will be upstairs. And as a former member, I always say, chime in about semicolons.
All right, I will check in then with, I'm sorry? Flow in? Yes?
You all have a meeting on Wednesday night.
Yes, we did say that.
You did it.
Right. Yeah. So I will check in with Gary Evans, who's the academic principal, to see if that works for him.
Awesome.
All right, and get back to you, and obviously we'll warn that meeting. Wayne?
Question, yes. And Johnson, for what Dave said about what getting a letter of the company that's a search and stuff, how did this come about, the recommending the company, the choosing the company to search for the town manager? I mean, knowing that we voted down these town budgets and stuff, and then a $20,000 charge to a search, how did this search come about, and didn't we know when the search happened exactly what they were going to be doing for us in the search to start with? I mean,
so initially, my understanding is that VLCT was approached because they have assisted with town manager searches in the past. And frankly, I don't know how Pracademic was found. They seem to have a national reputation of finding executives for nonprofits.
so we knew exactly up front basically what they'd be going to be doing for us before you said we're going to hire you.
Yes, we have a whole packet, and we can publish that.
Because that's a concern I heard Dave.
Of course.
Mr. Chair,
yes.
to this a little bit, here. So my understanding of when we were discussing the Pracademics versus VLTC or other options is Pracademics offered background searches included inside of this. I've never ran one myself, but it can be tricky for sure. We want to make sure that we have a good, solid, background check and everything done on that. Allowing the company Pracademics to do that work for us would not put a weight or a load on the existing town staff here, which would help out on that. And then to the budget concerns too, That $20,000 isn't coming from fund balance. It wasn't magically pulled from a leprechaun's pot of gold. That is coming out of what was, I believe, Brandon's salary, which is no longer being sent out. There are Suzanne and Josh, which are getting a very small stipend out of that, and thank you again for your guys' service on this and stepping up for it. But that $20,000 isn't coming from something that wasn't already allocated to be spent. So it is not a new expense. It is not a fund balance withdrawal.
Thank you so much. Thanks for clearing that up.
No problem.
There's been some questions that I know I've heard a lot of people ask about it, so
I'm glad you asked.
I figured that'd be the elephant in the room.
Steve.
Steve Doffin, Weathersfield. Along those lines, I think that the situation here in town, a lot of the bad blood, everything has gone downhill primarily due to the former town manager's salary. And I think that's where a lot of things went sideways. I would take and ask the board to keep that in mind moving forward. I know we want to get competent people. I know some people are looking for someone local, which I don't know if you can find a qualified candidate locally here. And again, having someone move to this area from outside of Weathersfield may be challenging, given the fact that every house costs more than anyone can make here, but just keep that in mind. I really think that some of the bad blood started at that point in time, so thank you.
The next item is change in authorized representative RF1-321-1-1.0. And can you?
This is the change. This is just the authorized representative for the town for the funding for the water project.
So somebody to sign off on that?
And they know that this is a temporary placeholder, and that once the town manager is hired, we will be doing this again.
All right. And would that be you or Suzanne?
It's listed as myself in the packet, and then
okay.
If you vote to adopt this, it requires your signature, or the signatures of the board.
Okay. So I move that we. Oh no, I will entertain a motion. I'm not that we change the authorized representative to the wastewater feasibility study to.
This is not the wastewater feasibility study, is it?
It's not wastewater, no, it's
No,
for the
this is
water.
water
it's for the-
district.
Oh,
it's for the
sorry,
water
yes,
district
of course.
Funding.
Yes, it's it.
I will make a motion to make Josh Kemple the authorized representative.
Second.
All in favor?
No.
Oh, discussion, sorry.
Jeremy Curry is the water district manager. And the only reason why anybody involved with the town would be that we're simply a user with Martin Hall and the library, not the school, because the school would have a different entity. So I'm wondering why we're not naming the water manager. And Brandon used to be that until Jeremy Curry is filled in.
Are either of you in a position to?
Because Jeremy Curry now is overseeing all the monetary and the infrastructure operations of the water district.
So he's my understanding is he's the operator, not the manager.
Right. The manager is the manager.
The manager is the manager.
Are you sure of that?
Yes.
That's what I was instructed.
Yes.
Who's answering yes?
I'm learning very quickly, Dave, so.
No, I just want to be wondering.
Lisa, would you like to?
So Suzanne has her hand up. She probably can answer better than I can, but to my knowledge, Brandon was the water manager, water district manager. Jeremy is the water district director. Stephen Smith is the water district operator. So Brandon hasn't attended a water credential committee meeting in a long, long time. So since Jeremy was named the director, Jeremy has run the meetings and been heavily involved. So I think there is a conflict of information there. But again, Suzanne probably knows better than I do, but Personally, I think Jeremy is the water director, and he'd be a good person to continue to stay involved in the project.
Mr. Chair, would it, sorry, Suzanne, maybe go first.
Suzanne,
Sorry,
would you like to
go
speak
for it.
up?
So, I'm sorry, I should have spoken out sooner. It's not for the water district, it's for the wastewater feasibility study. I'm sorry. What was started over in Perkinsville, and we have dispersed money for that already. We have not gotten reimbursed for everything, and there's more funds that we can spend on it. But at the moment, we're at the standstill because there's no authorized official that could sign off on those. So that's what we're trying to change. There's a separate change for the water district as well, but this one, the specific one, is for the wastewater feasibility study. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Thanks for clarifying it. So the second,
In that case, then, what was the motion on the floor? That was for the water district, right? So we need to, whoever made that motion needs to get that off the table, and then we need a new motion for the wastewater study.
Right, so
Who rescind my motion?
I guess second. All right.
Now we can start over with the new motion.
Okay, then let's entertain the,
Make a motion to make Josh Campo the authorized representative for the wastewater feasibility study.
Second.
I wish that it said somewhere on this that it was for the wastewater feasibility study.
I know.
To me, it's hard to, I mean, I understand the transfer over where it needs to go to, but from the outside, somebody going back and looking through the records, it could become very confusing.
It doesn't say it on that. I don't have it.
It doesn't say it on
It
there.
It
No,
says
that's
it
okay.
has a loan.
So if it doesn't, then-
But it doesn't say anything about wastewater feasibility, that's why I thought it was for the water district.
All it references is a loan number RF1-321-1.0.
It's got the two funds up top, the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. Is that for what
That's
was
not a
tied to it?
feasibility study, because we have a water project that's being funded in the water district, that's why I was confused.
Okay.
Is there anything super critical that this could wait until the next regular scheduled meeting, or do we have things that need to be signed off on immediately for it?
They wanted this done relatively quickly. Would it be okay to reference the phone number in the motion as is on the agenda?
That makes sense.
I'm fine with that, if that gives it clarity to go through where it needs to.
How about this, to correct the paperwork and then have the chair sign off on it?
Could I ask who generated this file?
That was the state, correct?
Yeah, it came from the state. I can produce the loan documents.
I'm in favor of just adding the loan number reference in the motion,
Figured.
so that we don't have to hold it up.
Wait for Cindy then.
No, amend the motion to include the loan number.
Do you motion to amend the motion?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to amend the motion to add loan number RF1-321-1.0 to the original motion.
I second that.
is there any further discussion?
Does that include saying wastewater?
Well, we thought that if we put the number in, that would clarify which it is.
You know, but at the top of this document, it says water infrastructure. All I'm looking to do is get it right. I'm voting no on the amendment. I want to get it right. It's a little sloppy.
All right,
I would like to have as much paperwork go through that we don't have to touch, obviously. I'd just like a little bit more clarity on it, on the document itself.
Suzanne?
Would it be something that we could put on Monday's agenda if you're all able to meet for the town manager search? Would that be okay?
Is that okay for you?
Okay.
I'd be perfectly fine with what I said before, which was that the paperwork get corrected in the morning and the chair sign off on it, so long as it says wastewater study, and you can put the loan, whatever you want to do. That's fine with me. I'm talking about this document that's right in front of us right now. That's all I'm saying.
So we have a motion on the floor to amend the original motion, which was to add the loan number to the original motion to change the
authorized representative.
Right. So was there any, Mr. Fuller, any other further discussion on that? Okay. On the amendment, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Wait,
No.
oh, sorry.
Nay.
Two noes.
Two noes and 3 yeses?
Okay, so the
Okay,
amendment
so
passes.
the amendment does pass, and I'm sorry, I'm getting
The
very
original
tired
motion.
now. The ori-
Now we have to-
was to change the authorized representative. So,
The motion's already on the floor.
yes, on the floor. Okay, then, all in favor of the original motion to change the authorized representative? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. The last item is the warrant for the week. You have a copy of it in front of you? Okay. Would you like to?
Sure. I make a motion to approve the warrants for the meeting of August 24th, 2026 as follows. General fund payroll, $37,574.57. Operating expenses, $75,623.56. Highway fund payroll, $10,385.17. Operating expenses, $27,785.94. Solid waste management fund payroll, $2,552.04. Operating expenses, $2,190.52. Library payroll, $2,718.78. Operating expenses, $37.69. Center Road paving, operating expense, $101,641.94. Grand total payroll, $53,230.56. Operating expenses, $207,279.65.
Is there a second for the, on the budget?
Second.
On the warrant, excuse me. All in favor, any discussion? Questions, all in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain. I didn't look at the warrant.
All right, so 1 abstentions, any nays? So, okay, so we have what? Four ayes and 1 abstention? Then if you would all be sure to sign this when you end, and I move that we adjourn.
Wait a minute. Where is, did the board have because I think there was a little question about who was signing the warrants and everything. They previously had delegated it to Kelly. Is that true? Just one member?
If we were going to be on the summer schedule, we never went to the summer schedule because of the loss of the board members. So we continued to sign.
So that was conditional on that move? So I feel strongly about all the members signing it and being able to look at it pretty carefully and whatever. So I've never really been a fan of making one person say, tag, you're it, for a variety of reasons. Other people look at different things differently.
Right. Well, it seems to me that it's a moot point then tonight because we're not on our summer schedule.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, since I've been on the board.
You'll have to
we've signed
help me because I've been absent for a year and a half.
All right, I move that we adjourn.
A second.
We are adjourned.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming for this. This was one of those excruciatingly long meetings.
I have a document there, I'll ask you to sign.
Okay.
You got the warrant over there, Rika?
I'm sorry?
You got the warrant?